Good evening, welcome to Vape Talk UK. This is episode 184. My name's Mark, this is Cass, Chris, Jono. I'm pointing all over the place. Good to see you. Jono, what are you vaping on, mate?
I'm vaping on a Purge, Cloud Lemonade, Evil Stack Twin, Mango Gummies, Salts, Berserker Mini, and Salted TYV Black Currant Ice. Mark, what are you vaping on?
Are you happy to be here?
I'm absolutely buzzing to be here when it works.
Apologies for that fuck up. I have no idea what happened. What crashed? We've lost all our viewers, but most of you have come back. So, as Rob says, seconds away. Ding ding. Round 2. Chris, what are you vaping on, mate?
I am, surprisingly enough, vaping on more than one thing this week. So I'm vaping on the Orion with salts in it, 50 milligram something or other. I made it myself. Cactus Mojito from just a Nick.co.uk. And I'm also vaping my Chris Scott clicker with whatever this thingy is on it, with elderflower and apple. And that's it.
Very nice.
Are you vaping on Cass?
What am I vaping on? I am vaping on my RX200 with the Berserker on top. There it is. Hey. With a rather snazzy silicon case on it. I've got my Zeltu, where I finally got some clean pods. And inside that bad boy, I've got some Dinner Lady Lemon Tart Salt, which is quite pleasant. And then I've got my Mini Fit. And inside that, I've got cream soda salt. There. And the cloudy build today is the Vulcan Mech with a Goon on top. And inside that, I have got Jeffrey's Vintage Bakes Trifle. Woo! Woo! Which is awesome. It's yet to be nicked up because I didn't get any nicks. And I've got some in my drawer, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm sort of vaping at 0 milligram at the moment. But yeah, I'm just loving salts and this new range, which is definitely already on sale.
That it
for
is.
The low price of £13.
That it is.
Mm-hmm.
With a discount code, Cass's Punching.
Yep. If you chuck £5 in the super chat, it'll only cost you a tenner.
Oh, dear. Brilliant.
So
we
yeah,
didn't talk about
Mark,
anything.
Huh? What you vaping on, Mark?
Me? Vaping on, I dropped my Smockia.
Did it destroy it?
The Smockia is dead. The Smockia has died. The Smackia can go fuck itself. So, I had a 2-3 at work. You smell there. Just a quick...
No, I had an itch. I had an itch.
Just having a cheeky whiff of himself.
So, the 2-3, I never realised how bad the Wismec 2-3 was. Honestly, I used it for 3-4 days. The back kept popping off. The plastic at the top was bending away. It was a gash. So running in a iStick power, high power, Berserker, Jeffrey's Vintage Vape, Elderflower and Apple 12mg. I've still got the Able in front of me from last week, or with the Kennedy, and a little brush that's decided to attach itself. And in that, I am vaping strawberry and raspberry. Can't really see that. Strawberry and raspberry from who's the company, Cass?
Differ Vape.
From Differ Vape. I've also got a new pickup today.
Ooh.
Is there a new pickup line? I want to hear it.
A new what?
Pickup line. I want to hear it.
Yeah. The new SX Mini Pod.
How is it?
It's actually all right. It's all
so
right.
I'm going to be buying one of these, so I need a rave review.
I'm not going to rave review it because I've not actually rave used it yet. But comes on. Let's give this a first view, shall we? Let's give it a first view. It comes in a nice smexy box. Comes with a little pod.
Do you only get the one pod with it?
Yeah, you only get one pod with it. However,
what are the price range of the pods?
£6 a pair. £6
How long
a pair.
does one last?
I don't know. I've only just got it.
Oh, that's helpful.
Come in a little plastic tube, the replacement pods, little O-rings. I'm not sure what they're for. The typical prime coil for 3 minutes before use. So let's give that a blast. And one thing that did make me smile. The hell? Let's pull the 3 minute tag off. There we go. So one thing that did make me laugh. There was do you know, like the little SIM removers you get with iPhones?
Yeah.
There was one of those in the box. And I'm like, what the fuck's that for? Now it turns out their little childproof thing is a rubber bung in the top of the pod. And the only way you can get it out is with the little iPhone SIM key, which I've left downstairs. So I'm going to force this out.
That's what she said.
I'm going to attempt to force this out with a screwdriver. There we go. She's out. And then a little bit of cream soda, Nick. Salts. Give her a squeeze. There we go. And I've got to leave it for 3 minutes now, apparently.
One day I'm going to take all the audio from all these shows and cut it together cassette boy style, and it's just going to sound like a dirty, dirty porno.
Yeah, baby. Use that bit as well.
Okay.
So now I've shoved it in. You screw your drip tip back in place. And the pods literally pull in and out.
Nice.
So you drop that in. I think that's in. Yes, that's in. And
how much is the retail for one of these SX pod devices?
What are they? About 30...
8?
35, 38 quid, something like that.
That ain't bad, to be fair.
Considering it's a
SX.
Yeehee chip.
Yeah, considering it's a Yeehee chip. If you want one, Jono, give me a shout after the show. I've got plenty. So yeah, I'm going to leave that to sit and soak. Sit and soak for 3 minutes. But one thing I do like is the cap that it comes with does actually sit on top of the mod.
Nice.
So you do get a little drip tip cover to sit on top.
That's quite snazzy.
So I'm going to give that a couple of minutes just to soak in, and then I've not read the instructions, and one of the things I didn't know about was how do we change the voltage? Because at the moment it's sat at 3.6 volts. I'm sure there's instructions somewhere, but I've got no idea how to change the voltage, if at all you can.
Sorry, I'm going to keep my mic off because we're trying that thing called tough love. You know, when you like leave a child to cry itself to sleep like a mean bastard. We're trying that, so there's a lot of screaming at my house.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you in a minute because we desperately need you for the next part of the show.
Would you like me to do the news before we move on to the main feature?
Yes. Chris, get your software up and running.
Right, so let me grab it up. There we go. That's the show notes. Cool. So I've tried to find as much research. Basically, when it comes to research in the news, 90% of what you find is from about 3 years ago. Finding new stuff is very, very difficult. So I think I've found some cool stuff, and this should work quite nicely. So the first thing I've got is, and this is from the 18th of January, and I don't think we covered it between when it came out and when now. But basically, cancer research is continuing to support vaping, which doesn't sound like a crazy thing, but actually they're putting a lot more effort into it. So what they've decided is that the inaccuracy of smokers' knowledge of vaping has been noted among the professionals, and the Director of Health Improvement, Professor John Newton, has said it would be tragic if thousands of smokers who quit with the help of an e-cigarette are being put off due to false fears about safety. And the thing they're trying to get out is how much better vaping is, and that actually all of these safety fears are, well, not really as materialized as everyone thought they might be. So there's 6.1 million people still smoking in the UK, and that's why these informative videos, all of this sort of stuff, are that much more important. 40% of these are not being suitably informed, and there's still a large proportion of smokers who could be missing out. So, as we all know, due to the stringent regulations, it's very difficult for vaping companies to portray the benefits of vaping to smokers. We're not allowed to advertise in certain areas. So this is why campaigning from the likes of Cancer Research UK are essential to cut through the overblown headlines of facts and figures backed up by reliable research. You know, we've got Public Health England behind us. We've got the Royal College of Physicians, King's College London, Cancer Research UK, the NHS to a certain degree. So when I read this article, I actually found it quite interesting that we've got someone as big as Cancer Research UK. You know, if we could get a lot of the bigger cancer charities on our side, I think that could be very, very powerful, because, you know, people listen to those people when it comes to health. Right, the next topic, talking about, you know, how the fears of vaping. Well, actually, before I go on to that, what do you guys think about Cancer Research doing this?
It's good. I think someone needs to have a voice, and if Cancer Research can't have a voice, then I don't think anyone can. It is. It's awesome that we're being supported as an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, same as what Mark said. You know, if anybody's got a voice against, a voice for it, it's got to be Cancer Research themselves.
Right, question for you, Jono. Do you know when he was talking, did you, like me, completely zone out, and all you've said is, yeah, what he said?
No. Thing is, when he was actually talking, I'm going like that, like, yeah, like, so, no, when he was talking, I was reading it as well, just to actually sink in. It's like when you read out loud, it sinks in better for me. So if someone's telling me it and I'm reading it at the same time, it sinks in.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I am paraphrasing for the purposes of a performance of a show. What I can do, if people want it, is I can actually drop all of these news articles into chat, and they can view them at their own leisure, because some of it is very, very interesting. So, moving on to the next topic. This is all over the internet, as far as, if you type in vape news, this is what comes up. So, literally today, or at least it's been reported today, this man in Texas has died after his vape pen exploded. And
hang on. Texas man dies after vape pen he was exploded, medical examiner said. Now, it's either a piss poor use of punctuation or
After he was
USA...
using exploded. USA Today is terrible.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. So, basically, as you can fully expect, according to CBS 11 in Dallas-Fort Worth, the Smoke and Vape DZ shop said Brown wanted help using a mechanical mod-style vape pen. A shop manager called an ambulance after seeing Brown in trouble in the parking lot. It just hurts so bad, Alice Brown told the Star/Telegram. According to a report from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, 195 incidents of an explosion or fire involving electricity were reported by, or electronic cigarettes were reported by the US media between 2009 and 2016. That's not really a huge amount over, what, 7 years? Basically, what happened to
how
this
many
guy,
people in that time? How many people got butt plugs stuck up their arses? Let's be fair.
I will find that information out.
Good.
Can I just add, that is the thinnest looking Met mod I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. Don't you love how all of the media images of vapes are always these, like, clearomizers? Always.
It's not just that, it's like the person blacked out. Like, they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, like they're hiding their identity. Basically what happened to this is it exploded in his face, severed his carotid artery, and he died very, very quickly. Which is pretty... So, you know...
I should have
just died. He died very quickly.
Well, put it this way, at least he didn't spend weeks in hospital with like 3rd-degree burns to his face.
How the fuck? What? How did it? Read the bit about his archery again, please.
So wait, wait, let me find it. It was on here. Wait. Oh my day! Right, give me a second.
He died. Scroll down. He died.
And later died at a hospital, said the report. Now I read, here we go.
Scroll
The vape
down.
pen suddenly burst and severed his carotid artery, according to a search of case records.
How? I know that's probably the noise he made, but how?
I don't know. I don't know, but he's dead. Poor guy. Is that the kangaroo paw of respect?
No, it's the kangaroo paw he got stuck up his butt. Anyway.
Right, next one. And I sent this to Mark probably about 10 minutes after last week's show, so I'm going to do it today. Now, we all know that the vaping industry is under massive scrutiny for advertising to children. And I found this. And what you'll see here, if I can get it playing... Oh, let me mute it a second. This is gin. This company is selling gin. Now, they have not even tried to hide that it's various confectionery or sweets or biscuits. I mean, there's probably a few copyright claims to be had in there. Porn star flavoured gin, rhubarb and custard, Turkish delight. It's in a heart shape. It looks like some kind of candy drink. Custard cream, jammy dodger. There we go.
Hang on. Porn star, like week old spunk. What does?
Sweaty, mouldy vagina.
I presume it means porn star martini.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't actually smell of sweaty crotch then.
It's probably
Maybe. Or damp, you know, it smells like damp patch.
Probably not.
Okay.
Cass, can you up your mic a little?
I can. I can just physically move it up.
There we go.
There we go. And I just think it's amazing that we come under such harsh critique, and yet a far more regulated industry, such as the alcohol industry, is getting away with this shit. Really? I mean, the gin is very small in comparison to the massive branding or the giant heart bottle. It'd be interesting to know what people think about that.
Have you got the image from earlier?
Which one?
The one I posted up earlier.
What, the fried egg one?
No, we'll talk about that in a moment. The one where I said they're at it again.
Oh, okay. Bear with me. Let me go find that. Did you send it to me or did you put it in the group?
Shit.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're still good. Right. So, how long ago was it that loads of companies came out with like chocolate branded flavored stuff or
All
drinks?
the totally inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, check this out. Mark sent this over to me today. So we've got Moors. Aero spelt wrong. That looks like Haagen-Dazs.
It looks like an S. Sogendars.
Oh, Toblerone.
Triple Larone. Triple One. Hot, crispy, delicious apple pie. That looks exactly like the packaging of a Mackey's apple pie. We've got Cocac Cola.
Cocac.
That looks like a K.
And a beautiful bottle of Capricum.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. They're not even trying to be subtle here. I'm gonna have a can of Diet Cocac. So yeah, I wonder how long. The thing is, this is in a shop, and someone's clearly bought this in thinking this was a great idea, and it's just amazing that this is still being allowed to get away with.
That photo was actually sent by a distro.
To you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
Do you know what? I'm really struggling here because on this diet, all I've fancied for ages is a Moors bar.
You sure you don't want an Aero spelt wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I could really, really do with some Coca Cola.
How about a triple one?
What does made it is that the font and the colour scheme are going to be copyright. So even if they called it something different, they're still nicking the logo and the fucking colour scheme.
It's the trademark.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Pepsi isn't red for a reason because they're associated with the blue. There's no way, even if the font was different, you'd get away with saying, "Oh, I didn't know that was what Coke was associated with."
No, but it's Cocac.
I'm surprised I haven't done pizza.
Keith's saying just ordering that rhubarb and custard gin. Sorry lads, it sounds too nice. It does. I do fancy giving that a blast.
What pisses me off, this is how my 4-year-old speaks, and you're trying to correct his pronunciation of things. Daddy, I want a Moors bar. No, it's Mars bar. And he's like, no, it's not. I've seen it in the shop.
Do your kids have Scottish accents?
No, luckily.
Yes, they do, Chris. They do.
They fucking don't.
They do.
All right, so
See, my missus is from like Derbyshire, and her dad is from like Oldham, and then stepmom's from same place as there, and the kids just spend most of their time with those three. So to me, they sound like her.
They've got a right twang, mate.
So, bad enough it's bad enough that they're deemed Scottish because they were born in Scotland. Ugh.
Ugh. Right. Okay. So
just very quickly before we move on.
Good.
Impressed.
Give you a five.
Purchasing one.
The fact it's a 1-ohm coil is just nice. The fact that the airflow is spot on is nice.
I'll tell you what I like. The Orion. Well, maybe.
Right.
Beggars
Okay,
can't be
so
choosers.
I've got a bit of American. No, I suppose. No, is this Canadian law or American law? Right. Bam and bam. Right. So in Vermont, which I believe is that's the
America.
state, isn't it? Yeah. So e-cigarette users in Vermont are now facing a crushing tax blow after New England state legislature passed an anti-vaping bill on Friday. So they used the usual claims of deterring teenagers from becoming lifelong nicotine addicts, but it threatens to slash the financial benefits of vaping so much that many smokers will just stick with what they know. The new law, there is going to be a 92% excise tax applied to e-liquids bottles, which will essentially double the price. Vape shops say that turning a $20 bottle of liquid into a $40 will destroy their businesses. Supporters of the bill claims it's aimed at preventing teenagers from vaping, but lawmakers have doubts. If it's going to cost roughly as much as smoking, are they buying like $40 packs of cigarettes? Or am I don't know what cigarettes cost in Vermont. So this seems to be a growing trend. Vermont isn't the only state going down this route. Predictably enough, California started the trend, but Minnesota recently introduced a 95% tax, the highest in the country, while Chicago imposed a $23 levy on each bottle of e-liquid last week. So Chicago are fucked, Minnesota are fucked, California's fucked, Vermont is fucked.
But it's alright, because you can smoke weed.
Yeah, exactly. So, can't vape, just get high. Basically, George Till, their state representative, he says he isn't finished with Vermont's ex-smokers yet. He's also planning to introduce legislation for a ban on internet sales of vapor products into Vermont and an increase in the vaping age to 21. The state's harm reduction community have a series of fights on their hands. This is pretty big because it is spreading across the states. You know, this is what, 4 states mentioned here, but it doesn't take long before it spreads outwards from there, really.
Excuse me.
Well, the average price of a pack of cigarettes in USA is between $10 and $13.
So about what it is here,
more or less.
Yeah. So you know they're putting these. And I mean, the thing is it because this big tobacco is so huge out there, big pharma is so huge out there, or is it just because they don't have an understanding of vaping in their government and they just see it as something negative and as banning the shit out of it? Question posed. What do we think?
What does chat think?
What do anyone think?
Wasn't there a bill that would actually, before Trump became president, wasn't there a bill that was put towards him about the vaping laws?
Bill Clinton.
Was it Bill Clinton?
No,
No.
I'm being facetious.
I've been had again. No, before Donald Trump became president, there was supposed to be a bill, certain like bills that they look at, and one of them was vaping, and Donald Trump wanted to look more into it. And it's supposed to be, I think it's a 3-year hold off before he decides what to do with it.
See, now that interestingly moves on to my next article, which will be like my last article for the news section. And I found this interesting thing, and, well, I'll show you. I will show you. Basically, this article that I'm about to show you here, so it's called Vaping's 2020 Quandary. As America's next presidential election approaches, e-cigarette users face attacks from all sides. But with a Republican incumbent that is surprisingly anti-vaping and a field of Democrats just as willing to kill a growth industry, is it safe to say we're walking into an absolute shit show? So what they're saying is that it's likely to be one of the most important political races in modern American history, and considering the public perception of vaping in the United States and the massive public outcry for bans, it wouldn't be surprising if e-cigarettes, vaporizers, mods, and other related products become fixtures of a would-be president's public health platform. So it's essentially discussing, can a president use vaping as something to help his race, help his campaign?
If he does, then he's going to get some votes his way, isn't he?
But will it then turn it against him because he's talking about something that is essentially fairly new?
I think with the whole...
Go on.
I think with the whole... Not... What is it? Vape, whatever they're called. Sorry, I'm trying to take a shoe off. with all the kids and stuff like that, I think it might be a difficult thing over there in the States.
Yeah. What are you? Are you still trying to take your shoes off?
I'm trying to take it. Look, have you seen the size of my shoes? Seriously, it's not an easy task to get a pair of Jordans off your feet.
Fair enough. Well, I was told by a guy I work with that since Juul have been bought by Altria, now Altria own Marlboro, and what they've been doing is putting little cards inside every pack of cigarettes that is a Juul advertisement saying "Give up smoking, vaping's better for you." You know, and enlisting the dangers of smoking on this card and trying to push their smokers, their Marlboro users, towards vaping. I think that's a very interesting tactic to take because I haven't heard of anyone else doing that. There aren't vaping adverts on the side of packs of cigarettes. Should there be?
No, just how you're not going to be able to get hard on for the rest of your life. Smoking causes impotency. Well, that's handy because I've always got a stiff one. Can't walk to the shop without nearly taking someone's eye out. Like, I don't know how they're going to turn these negative adverts into something positive in the first place. Unless they release them like cigarette cards like they used to have in the 40s, but instead they've got pictures of Juuls on them.
That's what Altria have done into their Marlboro packs. They've put these cigarette cards inside the packs.
Yeah, but they're not collectible at the minute. That's the point.
But would it be better, instead of saying how bad smoking is, just having vape adverts on the side of packs of cigarettes? Don't smoke, vape.
I mean, I suppose that's kind of the method of advertising that McDonald's would use at the minute, where they've got their salad has got the biggest advert on the outside of the building, and you get in and you can't see a picture of the salad for love nor money.
The problem is with McDonald's salads, as soon as you put a dressing on it, that's it.
Yeah,
the thing is, no one goes to McDonald's for a salad. Like, you know what's inside McDonald's the same way you know that smoking kills, and you know that, you know. So I don't know if that's going to have any impact, really.
No, fair enough.
Like, I don't see these McDonald's salad adverts and think, oh, you know, next time I go in, fuck that new Big Mac, whatever it is with bacon. I'm just going to have a salad, mate. I'm really looking forward to it. It doesn't happen. You don't go to McDonald's for a salad unless you're a fucking right moron.
It's like going to McDonald's for a salad. It's like going to a whore for a cuddle, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not going to make any jokes about Lindsay, but
just very quickly, Kaz, could you share the picture that I put on the VT UK group earlier?
Is this the fried egg?
The fried egg, yeah.
Okay, 2 seconds.
Because people are still responding.
Oh,
I know, it's crazy.
Still replying.
I thought that you didn't know. That's why I commented. I genuinely thought you didn't know.
Is it
so there we go.
The most responded article on the VT UK group is about food and not vaping?
So the question posed is: you may add one more food item. What will it be? So scrolling through, we've got the very first one was sausage, bacon, another egg. Far too many chips there for just one egg. A sandwich because I'm not eating that. Beans, gammon, hog roast.
I love the way Big Tom put all those chips look undercooked.
Baked bean, schnitzel, egg. Obviously,
I'd marry that shite up with the bin.
And then Chris spoilt it and put fruit. It's peach and yogurt with apple. And if you look carefully, you can see it's a peach sat on yogurt with apple chips. So straight after that, Michael Donaghy, bacon. After that, Stuart, bacon. Pulled pork, gammon, macaroni cheese sausage, and Steve Walklate has just replied just this very second saying gammon.
For fuck's sake. That's my brother-in-law as well. Embarrassing.
Oh, is it?
Oh dear.
You could wash it down with a side of cocac.
Oh dear.
Absolutely cracking. So we're going to move on to the next.
Diet cocac.
I reckon Kokak's Russian for cocaine.
Cocac? You're on cocac?
What the fuck was that?
I've got
That
no
was
idea.
That was like the duck from Rosie and Jim trying to speak.
Like a dog with a hair lip.
Oh dear, that's brilliant.
So
Someone
we
stood on a womble.
So there was a couple of things that we mentioned last week. One is work in progress. Do not ever, 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 ever rub Nick salt in your eye. Has anyone ever done that?
I have a story like that though.
God!
I'm not, because I'm not a cunt.
All right, a guy I used to work with.
The bed.
Guy I used to work with always carried eye drops with him, and he had eye drops in one pocket and a little 10ml bottle of 72mg Nick.
As you
And
do.
one day he decided to put some eye drops in and picked out the wrong bottle and started dropping 72mg Nick straight into his eyeball. He looked a bit like you do now.
You
Has
went
anybody
a bit
got any-
mentally high pitched then.
Has anybody got any Nick salts with them? Just try it.
No thanks. I'd rather stick my
Serious?
dick in my dad.
Is that like eyeballing vodka?
Oh, no, worse. Actually.
I'm going to start calling you Eyeball Mark now.
Twat.
Fucking twat. Honest to God.
Hello,
Okay,
Mr. Patterson. Can I have a jam sandwich, please?
Can I have a jam sandwich, Mrs. Peterson?
You are not my friend.
And you are not
You
my
are not
fellow
my
DJ.
Goodbye forever.
Yeah, he did then use his eye drops that were in the other pocket to wash out the 72mg nicotine.
So one Halloween, I took chili, like extra mega hot chili extract, like 14, 15 million Scovilles, to a party to like put on people's drinks and stuff. I won't go into the whole.
Wasn't this part of your best man speech?
It was, yeah. I won't go into the rest of the night, but anyway, I ended up leaving this party, and I stomped off down the pub, and I went for a piss shortly afterwards, and that was a big mistake.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the whole cocaine route.
What?
I thought you were going to tell the story about them.
Oh, all right. I'll tell the story. So I had a few people try it, and I was like, "Yeah, try this." And some bloke there was very drunk and thought I was offering him cocaine and sniffed it.
What happened?
We're not going into this. This is. Fuck off. I wasn't even going to go that far into it, but when you say that cocaine thing, I kind of have to explain it, otherwise it sounds like I was doing some sort of dodgy cocaine escapade.
Brilliant. So last week, we introduced a couple of new features that we're going to be.
Don't keep rubbing your eyes.
They're on fire. They're actually on fire. So a couple of new things we're going to be looking at. One is the Instagram thing. Bear with us on that. We are
Working on it.
Yeah, but we've got a slight twist on it. So bear with us. You'll love it. The second one, and I did pop a sneak in the Vape Talk group earlier. On last week's show, we talked about designing a vaping device live on the show. I think we're going to start with either a tank or an RDA, so we can start planning for the show. What would you like to see in an RDA or in a tank to make it your perfect Atty? Now, going through, there's quite a few people commented. Lots of people saying RDAs, two-post design, screw system, flavour foremost, but the ability to open airflow for cloud chasing. Cap could introduce more airflow, but bottom airflow for flavour. Richard Payne, postless deck. Liam, RTA that works perfectly every time would be nice. Badger, dual coil, no fucking squonk pin. Sorry, no fucking squonk pin. Big fur cough vents. Big deck for coils, a cotton deep Juicewell RDA, and he wants it to be 25mm in naval brass. Now, Maffey came up with a good idea, and this spawned a bit of a conversation between us in the chat, didn't it?
Yes.
So I think someone should bring out an RDA deck that you can buy on its own. Something simple though, but a builder's dream, and personalise it like you can with a burger. Not that we're going to put mayo on a... Anyway. Something like
I only
that.
vape liquid helium.
Don't start. With a drop-down menu. Different screws, tops, caps, airflow, strip tips, even posts, and colour options. So we had a bit of a chat earlier, and I think, Cass, you were like, how the fuck would that work? So Chris drew us a diagram of how this might work. And I don't
this
think...
diagram was drawn on a post-it note.
You still got it? There we go. There we go. So, to try and please everyone, I think this is the route we're going to go down. I think we're going to go down the... I'm trying to avoid using the word endless.
Yeah, this is true.
But,
to be honest, I might do half the design live on the show and take the other half to Paul Harrison and say, look, new endless RDA. I genuinely, actually, I really wish he was in here right now so I could pitch this to him live.
So what we're going to do is try and suit everybody, I think, aren't we?
Because that's definitely the way to a successful product.
Apart from me, because I agreed to do this section, and then I've realised that I've given my Mac that I use for designing to my mate to borrow. I'm on a Mac that my product key is expired on. Their website is down, so I can't actually download a new key. So I'm having to use an online version of the old software I used to use just to do this section. So bear with, because I don't even know how to use this software properly.
So I think what did we decide on? Did we decide on sorry, I've closed chat down. Where's my chat gone?
Well, they're talking about donuts and Build-A-Bear at the moment, so...
Okay. There we go. Hype,
I can't even see the chat room.
See, I came up with the idea of calling yourself Clone Your Own Clone. So, you know, if you wanted a Kennedy deck, you could just choose the Kennedy deck, or if you wanted it to have the Purge logo on the side of it, off you go.
No.
You know.
Not up for that. Not up for that. So what did we decide on, guys? What do most of you use in chat? Are you 22, 24, 25mm? Or do you want to go 30, 40, 50mm? I know what my preference would be. My preference, I think, would be 24. Everyone else?
Yeah, 24.
25, I think, but it's entirely up to you guys.
Go 25 then, from a design point of view. Let's go 25.
It's just more room to have the customizable options.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of made a start while I was getting all this working.
I have a little feeling that this is going to end up looking like that Sfomesto RDA.
Eh?
Do you remember this Sfomesto RDA that had like 48 different airflow combinations?
Well, no, I don't know what you're on about, to be honest. So, I mean...
So there we go. We've got a deck so far.
Yeah, this is like the base. So essentially what I thought would be the ideal plan would be to have a square post design like this. Oh shit. Why is that not? So this is the problem I've got. I'm trying to use software that isn't the software I'm used to.
Don't like you.
I'll just make it work. This is only going to be rough anyway. So essentially, you have here 2 square posts, right? Now, the way I saw this working was if we drop this down. Shit. Actually, I'll keep that there for a second. So what I was thinking of doing is if we have this like this, and we go in halfway on each. That is definitely not what I meant.
If you carry on, Chris, we're just going to talk over the top of you for a moment whilst you whilst you do that. I think potentially. Oh, Cass is gone. I think that potentially the idea of a one-stop suits all. You know, I like the ability of potentially being able to use it as a tank as well. You know, you could buy a tank feature to sit on top of the RDA. I know it wouldn't be simple, but I like the idea. You know, those that like a postless deck, those that like the velocity style, those that like a would we be able to easily incorporate a goon style?
I don't see why not. Yeah, of course.
Similar that Limitless did.
Huh?
Wasn't there something similar that Limitless did where you could actually change the decks, and it were an RDA, an RBA, and RTA?
That was a Limitless XL.
No, the XL was an RDTA.
No, that was an RDTA. Limitless did something.
Well,
I think it was called the
Flex Survival Kit. Oh.
Hang on a minute. Do
you remember the Aspire Quad Flex Survival Kit? That was a Dripper, Tank, Nautilus X, Nautilus RDTA, all in one.
Vaguely, yes.
It came out about 2 weeks before the it came out 2 weeks before the TPD.
That's the one.
Oh, big shout out. Good evening, Sam. Congratulations on the opening of Night's Vape this weekend. Oh, here we go.
The combo. Bloody hell. Yeah, ours is better.
So you can have clamps, velocity style. You can have it's a stock tank, an RDA.
Is he still talking? I'll mute him then. So this is obviously quite a brand new idea. No one's ever done it before, and
not well anyway.
I mean, there's no saying this is going to go well at all.
I mean, don't get me wrong. From a marketing point of view, right? We have to assume that, let's say you wanted these posts with Allen key grubs, or with, you know, there's going to have to be some streamlining. You know, like threads all have to be the same, etc. But do we charge a base? No. You know, you charge a base price, and then you charge, say, £4 per post for that style post, and then £10 for the cap.
It's a kit.
No, it's not separate, but it just adds to the price.
No, see, the way it would essentially work, I'm hoping. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. This is such a weird way of doing it. I'm kind of not used to this software. So essentially, the way it would work is that each set of posts would have a hole in at the bottom for where you could bolt it to this. You could bolt it to this. So you'd have this countersunk, or shit. You'd have this like countersunk, or you'd have it like with a deeper edge, like this, and then you could have. Let me try and move these in. I go that far. Yeah, so essentially, you'd be bolting these on from the bottom. Yeah. So, There you go. So you'd have this section here, so you can put bolt or screw on, right? And then you'd have these posts that sat in these square blocks with this hole at the bottom, so you can bolt them on. And you can essentially have posts however you like them, really.
Yeah, yeah.
The sky is the limit when it comes to this.
I guess one of the posts would feed into the 510.
Yeah, so essentially all you'd be doing here is you'd have, say, so that needs to be 5 mil long. And then, so this would be the bottom of the post here. And then, so you'd have a hollow hole going up into it. Let me make it bigger so I can explain the idea to you better. So you'd have this, say, whoa, maybe not that tall. Essentially like that. So then you'd have on the bottom a hole, so you could sit it in there and then bolt it in, and then you could have any type of post you wanted, really. So I mean, yeah. you could have like say 5 mil down, 2.5 mil across. So have a circle. Oh, that is not even on the right axis. Ignore me. Right. So yeah, you could have 5. Right, that's a bit better. Then you could have so you could have just a standard single post, or you could go another bit further down. So 5 mil. So you could have two holes like a velocity, because essentially only 3 mil of this needs to sit below the base. So yeah, so say you wanted a single hole, so you could have one. So you could have one post that's like one big hole like this, and then you could have 2 like a velocity, or you could have 3, or you can, like I've got here. So you could have like side to side, you could have angled, you could have 2 ones like I've just drawn, you could have clamps, you could have postless, so you could essentially have it sitting flat on the deck and then have big screw heads that clamp the wires down. Yeah, you could have, I can't even tell what that is. That's the top of a clamp.
You can do like them sprung posts as well.
Yeah. Velocity style. So essentially, it's completely up to you, whatever you have, really. But yeah, carry on talking amongst yourselves. I'm just going to carry on pissing about that.
I like Simon's idea of having, say, like peak insulator rings that you slot on the inside to make the inner capacity smaller.
So
what do you mean? Say it again?
Chamber reduction. Like peak insulator rings that would slot inside the deck or inside the cap, that would then actually make the overall size of the internal chamber smaller. You could have that as a plug that sat in the top of the cap, or a ring that sat in the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to have some sort of rubber insulator or something in here, otherwise, that when you clamp the posts down, it could potentially leak out the bottom. But you just have like a little ring around the outside of this. And just insulate one post completely.
I'm talking about the whole deck. So you actually reduce the size of the deck if you want, say, more of a flavour RDA.
Oh, yeah, you could just have a thicker cap. Do you see what I mean? Like, you'd essentially create a insulator around this. Oh, that's not on the right page. Oh shit, do not want to leave this site.
What, could it be possible that this particular design could be used for both mouth to lung?
Oh, absolutely.
Single coil, dual coil. Yeah, be used for squonking.
Yeah, it could be used for whatever purpose you wanted to use it, really.
So why has this not been done? Why has no one done it? Shut up, Jono. Why has nobody done,
do you
done this
think
before?
it's just the? Do you think it's just the fact that setting up that whole back end of it, of having someone compile all the bits that someone's ordered together, is just so many man hours that it doesn't make it worth the cost of the RDA?
No, I disagree with that at all. The thing is, you'd have them in sets, really. You wouldn't sell one of this post and one of that post. You'd have them available in sets. So, you know, depending on what someone orders, you just take that set of things. You wouldn't really even make it available. Like, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't make it so that anyone could would have to sit there and spend loads of time building it or whatever. You just send them the deck and the posts. You wouldn't.
Oh, you know, of course, but then you'd have maybe different top caps that have to go with it. So you combine your deck with your posts, which are together. Then you had the top cap. Maybe you have like competition caps or flavor caps or whatever you like. And then you have different drip tips or different drip sizes. You could even go for a troll style chuff cap. And then you combine all that. Maybe I don't know what the reason has been. Maybe no one's been able to do it effectively enough. Is there licensing involved when you're taking different deck styles?
Nah.
No, absolutely not. No. There's no. Do you know what I mean? There's no. You can't. It's hard to explain. Like, the copyright laws come into place really at a different point in this whole process, because, you know, no one's copywritten. Copywritten? Is that the word? No one's got copyright for an RDA deck. So no one can. Fuck me, what's going on here? Told you I'm not used to this. Software's dodgy as shit.
So no one's patented their style of deck?
No. I don't even know where the.
You could have pre-built sets, like Nightwork said. You know, you could have the Clouds Bro set, or the Flavor Wanker set, or any kind of set you like that was already pre-built and you just chose it and that's the set you got. Or you could customize them to your own liking.
Yeah, of course. So I don't even know which way I'm supposed to be zooming.
Would we have it in different materials, say a brass deck or a stainless steel, copper?
Yeah, I suppose you could have it. You could have it however you wanted it, really. I mean, the sky's the limit. It just depends on what it is you want to achieve with it. If you want clouds, then you'd need a certain deck, a certain cap, certain airflow. And if you wanted mouth to lung, you'd need a different one. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's very much customizable, isn't it?
Yeah,
fully up to you. What exactly?
With this design, are we stuck with side airflow, or can we get bottom airflow, or you know what's the
bottom airflow would pose a challenge unless you already incorporated it into this. And the problem with that is that there's no real stem or channel or to raise the liquid above the base of the deck. So every time you filled up the well, it will just leak out the air hole.
Right. So you can do like a diagonally bottom airflow with little pipes.
I mean, you could, but you'd have to raise it above the height of the deck. And then the problem that poses is, say this is the deck height, right? And you put the airflow in for another 2 or 3 mil in order to have a 3 mil juice well. Then not only is the RDA 5 mil thick, which is a bit chunky, it's not the end of the world, but also it means that if you put posts on that come out to the side, they have to be more than 2 mil, which means then, do you know what I mean? It makes it a pain in the ass. Because with this square design, if you wanted posts that were L-shaped, right? So they went down and across, or like across and down that hole. You could have one facing that way, facing that way, facing that way, or facing that way. If you've got airflow in the way, you're kind of limited by what you can do. And then once you've got the bottom airflow in, you're stuck with it. There's no way of getting rid of bottom airflow. With side airflow, you can seal it off with an airflow control. But you can't seal off bottom airflow. It just doesn't work.
No, of course.
So essentially, you cause yourself a whole load of problems that you don't really need just by adding that bottom airflow.
That's fair enough. No, I only mentioned it because I saw a couple of people asking for it necessarily in the post, so I thought, you know, just throw that out there.
Yeah. I mean, bottom airflow is my favourite, really, but at the same time, it's not necessarily about what's right for me or what's right for any one person, because the whole point of making a fully customizable RDA would be the fact that you can cater for a load of different people. So essentially, you have one block.
You'd seal off the airflow if you had bottom airflow.
You'd be able to seal it up, but who wants the fucking 2 tubes with a rubber bung in the top of each in the middle of their fucking RDA?
Right, okay. Well, what about a second plate? What about, so, you know, you have it like this, but you have
3 decks.
Warm airflow, but then you have a second plate on top that actually covers the bungs.
Yeah, but that's, again, it's the same problem because you're going to have a raised section. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So say you put here, we wanted it, I don't know. So we did, I don't know, just here and here, for example. And we did about there, right? So you put in these 2 airflow sections, right? That's 2 mil airflow holes, yeah?
Yeah.
But these need to be raised in order to be above the level of whatever liquid you put in this this RDA, right?
Kennedy style.
Yeah.
Kennedy style. Create the tubes that Cass was explaining. And you have these 2 here, right? So you've got the extra 3 mil of deck in order to hold the posts in. Then you've got another 3 mil of tube, and then you're sticking a plate on top of that, which it's going to make the RDA so fucking thick you wouldn't have any room for a chamber. Do you know what I mean? It's 3 or 4 mil of unnecessary wasted space. You could have options for side airflow, top airflow. Do you know what I mean?
What if
go on.
everything around the indented section for the post to screw in was sunk? So you had these sticky up sections where you could screw the posts in. No, but even the bottom of the deck is sunk. Not. I'm not talking about where the posts are. So you have these raised sections where the posts screw in, and then around that, think like the Kennedy, everything's sunk around the posts and the airflow.
Probably like them, right?
We'll even use this Pandora. So you've actually got that, but you've actually got that. You've got like a little lip where the airflow is.
Yeah, see, the way I designed the Pandora is essentially this whole section here is hollow. So air can travel in the sides and travel around a chamber that are built underneath. But the complexity of that would mean that these wouldn't work. That you just wouldn't be able to have post holes that big in order to secure it. I mean, the problem that you've also got is that usually one of the posts, usually the negative post, is completely attached inside.
Yeah.
So we're opening ourselves up to problems here because this post, essentially, you probably wouldn't have a hole for this post here. You'd probably have this post going something like this. I can get it to the right angle. But the negative post, or positive post, I don't know which one's which, the insulated one, essentially the problem that you're going to face is how to attach this whilst keeping it insulated. Because obviously if the screws go through both here and here, they're both going to be equally what do you fucking call it? They're both going to be positive. So you'd have to have the positive pin sitting like, I don't know, here like this. And this post is going to have to go all the way around, like this insulator is going to have to go all the way around there. So if we joined this up here and this up here, so this would be the whole negative post, right? The whole negative post would have to be this sort of shape and incorporate that hole there for the firing pin. And then it's got to be insulated all the way around, a bit like this square block here, but it's going to have to be smaller. And then it's going to have to be held in by the positive post, by the by the positive pin, and then have this one separate that you can bolt on, a bit like the Pandora. Did you any of you guys ever change the post on the Pandora, put a squonk pin in?
No.
Right, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go and grab a post so I can show you what you talk on just that.
Why didn't you just ask me to take mine off?
But I mean, I see where it's going. I think you could have diagonal bottom airflow that comes in the sides, that's on an AFC ring that you can just shut off, and it doesn't actually protrude.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, this is what I was saying before. Like, on the airflow, bloody can't see it. On the bottom where the airflow is, there's actually a lip. Now you could actually fit a plate over the top of this with I don't know, just like a plate with like a seal underneath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And actually seal it off. But
no, I think that's cool, and I think I think having top caps gives us a whole, like, I can't remember who mentioned it. Let me just have a quick look.
Liam Payne, where you flip it upside down.
Well, no, Oggy mentioned it. 5 caps with different air hole sizes, where you can have adjustable airflow. But if you had 5 different design caps, you had a chunky one that had a much wider opening at the top. You know, you had a much narrower one that was much shallower, so you had very little headroom inside. It gave you the flavour that you needed. You just have different shaped top caps with either a fixed airflow or adjustable airflow, or even an AFC ring. You know, you could have it like the Goon, where you've got the top caps here spins around, and that's your adjustability, or it's fixed. Yeah, here we go. Look. So obviously that's spinning inside and closing it off and opening it up. Now that would be one way to do it, or you just have a solid fixed airflow, and then you can have those as different designs.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm back. Right. So this is how the positive post thing works, right? So you have this is covered by complete insulator, right? And then it slots into a hole in the deck, and that stops that from being positive, as well as like having both positive or both negative. This separates them in the circuit. So one of the posts is going to have to be designed like this, so it slots into an insulator, and then you can bolt it from underneath, yeah? But that would also double up as the firing pin. So again, there's quite a lot of space that goes into having this. So it kind of, again, limits the airflow options. This is why I had to build into the deck rather than onto the deck, because there just wasn't space for it. But essentially, this is what we'd need. Now, this would be filled in because it'd be coming through the center here. I don't know if that's going to let me do it exactly in the middle from this space. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to sit and draw this up properly, because this is a terrible example, but it kind of gives you an idea of what it is I'm on about.
I don't think it's a terrible example at all.
It's hard because I'm not really used to having to explain it to other people. So, you know, it's not really my forte.
See you later,
I kind of just would.
I don't think it's a terrible idea whatsoever.
I just kind of, yeah, I'm just kind of not used to having to explain my thought process to people. I just do it myself and then try and justify it afterwards. So, I mean, I don't know if I can right click on this.
But I mean, that's off for you to, you know, for actually doing that, because, mate, it'd take me a very long time to learn how to do something like this.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't help that I don't really know this software. I used to use this software, the proper version of this software. And
is this the light version?
No, this is the online version. So
we're going to get a pop-up.
This is on like an online
Prime.
Pornhub Plus, or whatever it's called. So essentially, this is what that hole's going to have to look like, because you're going to have to be able to have in and around this section and what do you call it? What the fuck are they called? Insulator. You're going to have an insulator. And with the likes of this here, you'd have the positive pin, which, well, this would be hollow. And then off of that, you'd have. I don't even. Can someone else speak? Because I don't know if I'm boring people here.
Well, no, you're just talking us through what's going on. I mean, this reminds me actually of the goon, because I was taking my goon apart to clean it, and I, for some reason, never realised you could actually take the negative out. It wasn't milled into the deck. So, essentially, that in itself isn't far off what we're doing here. We're just sort of adding a whole bunch of extra post options.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the thing that's important. You know, people want to have it, and I think once you've added in customizable cap options as well to further adjust it to your tastes, then that's going to be the selling point of this.
Essentially, this is going to be the screw that will hold that in.
You're going to have to do like an extra top cap with like a drip tip that's about that long just for Chandler.
Yeah.
So the minute this is a hollow, model. So yeah, at the minute this is a hollow model, so you can't actually see the inner workings of this because they don't exist. But this is a reverse face, that's why it's blue. It wouldn't normally work like that when you do the full design, but this is just a concept idea, really. So essentially, yeah, you'd bolt this insulated pin in, and then you'd have this pin free here. And all you'd have to do is add this section here that includes a flat piece with a hole if you want a squonker in it. If you don't, then obviously don't put a hole in it. And then, yeah, so this is how the existing post on a Pandora is held in anyway. So all I'm doing is, instead of having this second post here fixed into the deck, is having a screw hole to allow it to be bolted on. Then you can kind of do what you want with it, really. It's just about drawing all these fancy different style posts that you want, really. Because you only really work on one face, because you see here all these guidelines that I've made. They are now 1 millimeter below the surface of the build, because I've decided to make this 1 millimeter thicker. So now it means I need to erase all of these lines and redo them again on this face to work from it. So this is why, instead of adding O-rings and shit and raising this up so you can see what it looked like with a juice well, I'm just leaving it all flat. You don't want to work on multiple faces. It's just too much of a pain in the ass. But yeah, so essentially this is a postless deck as it stands, because you could fill these in and have 2 big screw heads and just trap the leads underneath them if you wanted. But then the problem is that's not the right. I wouldn't use that shape for the second post, so there's no point in me keeping it and then drawing it up. I'll have to do a fresh drawing. But yeah, so this is the start of a very customizable, very one-of-a-kind RDA that doesn't exist on the market anymore. Please don't steal my idea.
I think this will be an interesting one to follow. Obviously, a lot of the complexity has been done this evening, but
it's a start.
It is a start. Keep commenting on the thread for any ideas on the Facebook page.
I'd like to see if we could get a few people to sketch out their ideal post design, something that's not been done before. If they could come up with their own content.
Post designs.
Yeah, and then I'll create
nice.
Posts.
I'm not saying that we're going to put this into production, but you know, it'd be nice to get this as a fully working prototype. And
if you want to see it made, stick £50,000 in the super chat, and you'll get a free one. So there we go. So
we're missing Chandler this week.
So what the chat saying, by the way, because I can't see the chat.
People are saying it's great. People are saying they want one. Wishing you luck with the design. Maffy, this is actually a VT UK thing, so you're going to be able to see us design this all through the stages. We want your ideas on caps. We want your ideas on airflow. We want idea. This is a collaborative
we need a name.
thing. We want you guys involved. There you go. The VT UK Buyers Group. Why not? Let's do it. Let's fund it through VT UK. We'll start a GoFundMe page. I'll checks in the post. There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, we want you involved. We want you to design and help design. Tell us what you want. You guys vape. You know, we don't all vape the same way. We all vape in different ways. But if we could do a one design that suits all, that would be incredible, right? Surely.
That would be amazing.
Sorry, I was
Chandler.
Conversation.
It'll be done in a minute. A few minutes.
Yeah, so Chandler's not here.
Evening, Mrs. Grace.
Right, so Chandler couldn't make it tonight. So I am taking on the torch for the Found on Instagram.
I have to know, have you put the tits in?
Yeah.
Yay! Full screen Cass.
All right,
Bring it.
Okay. So I don't have XSplit, so it's not going to look as professional as Chandler's. So we're actually using the Vape Instagram. Now, the reason I found this is because this guy is vaping out the top of a head of a minion. I hate minions.
Command plus. Command plus. Command plus.
Command plus?
No.
Oh, wait, I'm doing the wrong one. Give me a second.
There we go.
Too big.
That's what she said.
There we go.
You know what? When I made that Pat Lunch mod the other week, my brother-in-law's got an empty minion that I was going to steal and use to build it. He wouldn't let me have the fucking toy.
Right, so yeah, I just sacrilege. I thought I saw that. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this girl is. I don't know who the bloke in the background is. Probably hate their lives because he
looks like he could be your brother.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
he's very pale. He's very pale. He's got a ginger beard.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So then we've got this. There you go. Bit of boobage for you there.
No.
Oh, that's fucking good.
I don't know what the mod is. The O-ring's in the way. Probably.
I thought that said always spreading legs.
So that's the normal thing.
There you go. If anyone can tell me what the mod and tank is, you know, because that's really the interesting thing in this photo.
I don't care.
No, fair enough. All right. At the moment, I've completely forgotten what all of these are, so this is as much a surprise to you as it is to me. We also have some coil porn. I thought this was quite interesting.
Oh.
Quite fancy.
But does it work? Does
Probably
it take
not.
a car battery? Does it take a car battery to fire?
Well, look at the size of the post in the background, right? I don't think it's all that big.
No.
But it looks like he's got some kind of mohawk design intertwined with a 30 million braid coil. It's quite pretty. He's tagged 90% of Instagram in his post. So there we go. But yeah, I just thought, you know, can't have a bit of Instagram without a bit of coil porn. Right, next one is... Oh yeah, here we go. Thought you'd like that.
She's dropped her battery wrap on her nipple.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It happens to the best of us. But this
Can
was
we
using a
Google
noisy cricket
Translate this,
V2.
please? Can we Google Translate this, please?
Yeah. 2 seconds. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I'll put it in chat, and then someone else can do it.
I just want to know what genius information these two young ladies are providing.
Probably an in-depth essay on battery safety, I would imagine.
You know what they're providing to me? A semi.
You're nursing a semi right now.
I'm not being funny, but if we look at the one on the right and like cover a hair with your finger, it's Justin Bieber. It is.
Right, okay. So before we get demonetized, I found this. This is the TFX Ohm, made from older burr, and it's quite pretty. I like the button on this.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, that's quite sexy. That
isn't it? I don't know.
How's that only?
FX.
That's Scott Bonner.
Here comes another boner. Here comes another semi. How has that only got 9 likes?
There we go. Ooh.
Because it was only posted 20 minutes ago.
Oh.
I
It probably
think
got shadow banned.
Tenwood FX is Scott Bonner, I think.
Hashtag, not enough hashtags.
Yeah, that's it.
That is beautiful. That is very, very nice.
That is really nice.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of wooden mods out there, but none quite like this. Like this one.
I did wonder why you had 2 million tabs open. Now I know.
Have you got one?
Also, Smok have outdone themselves on the world's ugliest mod.
I like the hat. I genuinely like the hat.
Oh my god!
You know how Smok mods have the fatal take the battery out, put them back in, and they're dead problem. I had this happen to a customer that came into me. They obviously didn't buy it from me because we don't sell those, but they bought it off a mate, and it had done that. They were well disappointed because they loved how it looked. The eyes light up red, by the way.
I like.
That'd look good with a mad hat on top.
I like the hat, and those of you that
I love posts like this because it's obviously a smok mod with a smok tank, and yet they've got hashtag Tesla vapes. Absolutely love these.
Hashtag custom vapes as well.
Hashtag
where's hashtag Papa Tango?
There is no custom in that whatsoever. But the reason I love the top hat is all will become apparent with our Instagram and the vape supremacist.
Can we just get back to this fucking hashtags, please? Because I've heard them called boxes, I've heard them called box mods, I've never heard them called box vapes before. Treasure. Hashtag treasure. Hashtag treasure.
Hashtag style.
Hashtag style.
Yep.
Hashtag come vape with us. Come vape with us.
Can we go back to the pretty ladies to see what hashtags have actually got?
I'm still waiting to find out what that Russian.
Those are all in Russian. There you go. So we've got hashtag cloud chaser, vape models, ganja girls.
Hashtag spreading love. Hashtag marijuana. 420.
Oh dear. Hashtag vegan.
I love the way they've got Janana. Marijuana. Anyone want some? Anyone want to buy Marijuana?
Yeah, and it comes with a free can of Cocac.
Cocac.
2 grams of Cocac and an ounce of marijuana, please.
Right. Scroll down, Cash. Yeah. Right. That she did hashtag vegan, but she had a heart-shaped toe.
Hashtag vegan trick team.
The reason I chose this one is macro photography is very difficult, and whoever's done this has done a brilliant job. Now, either this coil is 2 feet wide, or they've done a brilliant job taking a photo of it, and I just think it's really pretty what they've done with it.
Right, they've not taken a photo. They've not taken a photo. They have taken a photo, but that's stacked. So that's made up of about 20 photos all merged together. Because there's no way in macro photography would you get that all in focus. So I call stacked.
Fair enough.
That was very, very small.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't happen.
All right. And the last one is this beauty. Don't even know what it's about.
Do you remember in the 80s and 90s when you used to have net curtains and you used to have that metal metal piece that went through your net curtains? That looks just like that.
That looks like a really shit roller coaster that someone's going to lose a leg on.
Did you ever see the suicide coaster? The one that would kill you at the end?
What?
Basically,
What,
someone
the remote
designed a
track?
prototype. Well, they designed a prototype roller coaster that basically you reached such high G forces that you died.
Why would
Oh,
someone
obviously
even
maybe
bother
not.
wasting their time?
Oh no, it was a new attraction at Disneyland.
Oh, apparently it was designed as a for people on death row as a form of execution.
Can you get your missus on here to explain us this, because she's better looking than you are.
Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah. So that's what I've got for Instagram, and I'm sure Chandler next time will furnish you with more breasts.
Chandler doesn't look at that sort of filth, you disgust bag.
So yeah, there we go. I'll find a picture of that in a second.
Are we going to stay on and do
Chandler's
hangouts for a
wife?
little while? You know, the show was
Yeah,
so
Chan-
disappointing.
Is anyone going to join us for a hangout this evening? I will set up a hangout if anyone wants to join us. Let us know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy to say it, but I think Chandler is going to be that type of guy who goes on Instagram and actually tells the girls to leaves a comment and says hashtag put some clothes on, or hashtag you must be cold.
Do you remember that
This
little
is your
advert?
dad.
Do you remember the little Do you remember that little advert from a couple of years ago? Is your mother proud of you?
Oh dear.
I miss the little ladies. Whatever happened to them?
What little ladies?
Lilt ladies.
Oh, I thought you said the little ladies.
They kind of went missing, and then that funky bingo ladies took over. It's like they retired from Lilt. And went
What about
funky
times
bingo.
when you compare the opera bell end aired?
Oh, don't. Can we pose a question for next week's chat? I want you to all find your favourite advert of all time.
I know what mine is. Hands down.
Oh, I know what mine is.
Hang on. Are we talking TV ad or printed ad or what kind of ad?
TV ad. TV ad.
We need to be careful with audio on these, but okay. So have a think
We don't
about
have-
it.
We'd have to show them. We can sing them.
Oh, we're going for audio.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what we can get away with. You have to decide that.
Always Coca-Cola.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Just
I'm
imagine the
having
Christmas
relish.
advert for that.
Chins are coming.
It's just a horse-drawn cart with a couple of light bulbs on the back of it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Salad.
Love it.
Oh, this is bringing back so many memories. Who feels like chicken tonight? Chicken tonight. Remember that bad boy?
What has a hazelnut in every bite?
I
Squirrel
think
shit.
mine's just the
Squirrel
Flash
shit.
Dog. The Flash Dog.
Oh. For hands that do dishes that's as soft as your face. Mild green.
I've
Very
never-
Very liquid.
Do you remember that? This is the captain of your ship calling. It was like
Oh,
Muller Rice advert or something.
Proper
Oh,
ripped off Rat Pack.
Yeah. Oh.
Which was the Thou Shall Have a Fisher?
That was
that was- Bird's Eye.
Bird's Eye. Yeah, the battered fish.
I don't
No,
think it was Bird's Eye.
it was Bird's Eye
I
fish
don't-
fingers.
I don't think it was Bird's Eye. I think
It
it was
wasn't
John West
Bird's
or
Eye.
someone
Was
like
it
that.
East Coast or something?
Huh?
Was it something like East Coast?
Possibly.
I've got no idea. Someone Google it.
I'm Googling it now.
I've got a fun fact for you. My father-in-law used to be,
It was-
you know how we
it
had
was
the Milky
Young's.
Bar. Young's, that's it. You know
Yeah.
the Milky Bar Kid advert.
Yeah.
Well, apparently in the Midlands they used to have these things called Tudor crisps. I've never heard of them. But Tudor crisps, anyone?
No.
No.
But apparently they were like the walkers of the 70s. Like no one had any other crisps, and my father-in-law was the Tudor Crisps kid.
Was he really?
He isn't in any of the adverts I can find online, but apparently, yeah, he was the Tudor Crisps kid, like the equivalent of the Milky Bar kid from the 70s.
I do remember Tudor Crisps, but only because they released a tomato sauce flavour. I do remember it.
I'd have found it more believable if you just said your dad was the kid off the milk advert that went, Accrington Stanley.
Accrington Stanley. But yeah, no, he used to be the Tudor Crisps kid.
Exactly.
He's not a Scouser, he's from Oldham.
You see, Stuart's just said the shake and vac advert, but I prefer the crisp and dry advert. The bad and crisp and dry.
What about the little Lurpak advert where the geezer look like David Cameron?
And Michael Donaghy, come on, you cannot miss. Why, body foam for you.
Oh yeah, I used to like that one. So, yeah,
if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit,
But then we got adverts like the Go Compare guy, who will go down in infamy.
Fuck the Go Compare guy.
What happened to Howard?
Howard from the Halifax. I think he's dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead. That was a myth. I've googled that. I thought he was dead. I heard he was dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah, but I don't like the new ones where they're trying to crowbar some kind of banker into fucking Ghostbusters. I mean, what's that?
I don't watch TV.
We got one.
I don't watch TV, right? So I don't see all these adverts.
I prefer contactless.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you're on about because I don't watch any TV.
I think we need to save this for next week. This is just too funny, and we're losing viewers. So, right, there's a couple of us that are going to be hanging around. I will post the link into chat in a few moments. We'll be hanging around in Hangouts for at least 4 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us. What's involved in Hangouts? Basically, you take your trousers off and you all beat one off. It's a bit like Soggy Biscuit. Those of you that went to public school, you probably won't get it, but
private school, you definitely know.
We now call it Soggy Wick. We'll have to beat into a 10ml bottle of liquid and send it to each other.
I think Steve Dorrington lost that.
Do you remember that, Cass? Steve Dorrington vaped his own spunk.
I didn't know that's what his name was, but I did remember that.
Urban myth, but it was true. And
I did see a guy that used his own pubic hairs for wick, though.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Was it you, John?
No, it wasn't me. Chris.
It looks like the sort of thing you'd do.
No.
Can you imagine the smell? Oh, God.
Well, some of us wash our bollocks before we use our pubes as wick gas.
At least I can find mine to fucking wash them.
The smell of burning hair.
It'd be more the taste I'd be worried about, to be honest. Burnt hair smells like popcorn. It's fine.
Right, on that note, seriously, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday.
VTUK.
You love it. Have a good week, fuckers.